I want to read something from, this is still in chapter 16, but this is in section number 6. It's called The Bridge to the Real World. So I want to take you down to, well, let me read most of that first paragraph. So the search for the special relationship is the sign.
What page is this?
This one is on page 345.
What's the title?
So this one is, we're still in chapter 16, but now we are in section 6. And the title of the section is called The Bridge to the Real World.
The Bridge to the Real World. Okay.
Yes. So in paragraph 1, in The Bridge to the Real World, the search for the special relationship is the sign that you equate yourself with the ego and not with God. And a special relationship would be for the people in the group to stop talking about politics. Then it's a special relationship, because then I can love you if you stop talking about politics, but if you don't stop, then I'm going to hate you. So that makes it special, because I can move it up and down according to my whims, because I'm controlling internally what I want to think about you, as opposed to aligning with what God believes about them and you. And the same for you. Special relationship with those people is, okay, I liked you before, then you did something, now I'm going to hate you. So listen to what this says. The search for the special relationship is the sign that you equate yourself with the ego and not with God. Because if they have the power, I'm now aligning, I'm searching for you to change your behavior. That's what makes you special to me, because I need you to behave a certain way for me to be okay. Then I'm not aligned with what God said is true about me. That I'm holy and so are you. I may be remembering my holiness in yours, and you may not be in this moment, but I need to forgive you for, you don't know what you're doing. But more importantly, I need to forgive myself for forgetting that I can align with God instead of with the ego. And when I see your holiness, I'm aligned with God. Then he goes on to say that for the special relationship has value only to the ego. That need for a right and a wrong, a good and a bad. To the ego, unless a relationship has special value, it has no meaning. For it perceives all love as special, which means, what can I get from you? Special love means, what can I get from you? And once I got you, I need to protect it, because you are filling a hole that I have. You can't be leaving me, because then you're going to leave me empty again. So we're using our mind to believe something that we learned in childhood. There's something wrong with me, and you need to change so I don't feel what's wrong with me. But if I don't feel what's wrong with me, I can't heal what's wrong with me, to then eventually find out that there's nothing wrong with me. There's just a thought that I'm believing that's not true. Isn't this fun?
Yes.
Let me keep reading. So yet, this having these special love, yet this cannot be natural, for it is unlike the relationship of God and his son, his child, his daughter. And all relationships that are unlike this one must be unnatural. Any relationship that is unlike our relationship with God, which means unconditional, it means it happens in the now moment. It is overflowing with wholeness. God is whole, I am whole. We come as equals. I give of my love to God, and I receive God's love in return. There is an infinity sign that takes place between me and the other, where I love you and I receive the movement of that love and I extend it. The other one feels it and extends it back, because we're living in the present now, no conditions whatsoever, because love and joy are our birthright. And when you're in love and joy, you're in partnership with people, which means your soul is spiritually evolving. It is evolving because you're learning more, having more opportunities to be more of the truth of who you are. And the more we experience being who we are, the more our wholeness really registers with us. Until that day that we cross the bridge and we live like Jesus, when he was on the planet, he lived as the presence of love. Period. Let me keep reading. Sentence number 5. For God created love as he would have it be and gave it as it is. So we have been given love, but we have corrupted the meaning of love with our own thoughts and beliefs and experiences as children. Now let me go to paragraph number 2. The first sentence is, love is freedom. And until we set all beings free to be who they are, so no matter how you behave, I'm not going to stop loving you, because if I stop loving you, I stop feeling love in me. If I stop loving you, I am going to then have to hate you. And guess what? I'm entitled to miracles, and I've decided that love feels so much better than hate now. Now that I don't get a rise from hating, it doesn't make me feel good anymore to hate, because I have come to realize that hating you means there's hate in me. And now that I've done the healing work and I don't live from the past, in this now moment, I'm going to see you as what the Course in Miracles says can be the only two ways we show up: as the presence of love or as a call for love. So every relationship is an opportunity for us to see, are we bumping up against something? If we are, it's a barrier to love. What is that barrier? That barrier is a belief. Where did the belief come from? Chances are it came from childhood. It is programmed into our minds by our parents, the preachers, the teachers, the media. We are exposed to so many beliefs. Our minds have been conditioned and programmed that to be happy, you need this kind of car, or this kind of look, or this kind of idea of perfection, or this makeup, or this job, or this amount of money. So we have lost touch that happiness is an inside job. And it's our job to come inside and find it. And that means that we've got to unplug from looking for it in all the wrong places, which is outside of ourselves. So if you're looking outside of yourself, it's already the wrong place. Because you are created by love, as love to love. Once you live by that as your truth, your mantra, any time that you're experiencing any irritation, any judgment, just stop yourself. Stop in that moment judging another person. Become aware that giving and receiving are one. If I'm giving you the judgment, it's coming from a part of me that doesn't feel whole, doesn't feel okay, so I'm dumping it on you. Guess what? I'm going to take responsibility for it. And the reason I'm going to take responsibility for it is because it says in here, not only am I entitled to miracles, but it's only me that I crucify. And I am not a victim of the world I see. Nobody out there can victimize the soul that I am. This does not mean that people out there cannot affect the physical body that I am, but nobody can alter what I know is the truth about who I am without my permission to change what I believe about myself. That's how powerful we are. If we accept what others think of us, we have agreed with their perception of us. We're not a victim of them. We are the ones who chose to believe something that we know is not true or not in alignment with who we are. So the Course in Miracles is a very powerful invitation that changes everything you've ever been taught about love. It teaches that love is freedom. What does that mean? That means you don't need anybody or anything to be whole and complete. The essence of God is inside of us. That masculine, feminine energy is within us. We've been conditioned to live off of one and not the other. If you're a man, you're supposed to be this way and deny your feminine attributes, deny your emotional side. If you're a woman, you should only be emotional. You should completely disregard your take charge, your assertive side. So we have been conditioned to believe that we're less than whole and complete by people who didn't know that we are all whole and complete. So we forgive them. They knew not what they did. Now that we know better, we need to come inside and clean up our own stuff. And how do you clean up your own stuff? You look at the beliefs, the thoughts, the programming that is in your mind and begin to decide, does this thought serve me? Does it serve me to believe that I'm not enough because I can't talk politics? And go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. Does it serve me to think that I cannot be happy by other people's behavior? That makes no sense. Why would you give up your happiness over somebody else's behavior? It's our work to accept that God created us for the purpose of happiness. Because when we begin to get happy, guess what? The lessons that are irritations that activate the opportunities for us to see the beliefs that we have begin to go away when you don't have to learn that lesson. So the more we come to our wholeness, the less irritations we experience. Because the irritation is only to let you know where you build a barrier to love. Nobody is ever irritated by happy experiences. We're only irritated by things that activate discomfort. Well, if there's discomfort, it's because it's in you. Something got activated that is uncomfortable. It's discomfort we've been carrying since we were little kids. It's the weight that we've been carrying since we were children. It's time to let that go.
Yes.
It's time to release all of that. So let me wrap up here and ask for any questions. If anybody has any questions, please go to the microphone, because those were beautiful, wonderful questions that you had. Is all this making sense?
Yes, this was fabulous.
Fabulous? Oh, I love hearing that.
Gary.
Would you mind sharing what made it fabulous for you? Do you mind coming up here and sharing that with us? Give us an insight into your mind.
Hi, Sarah.
I had to think about that for a second. It's just a reaction that I have, but I can say something.
This is awesome.
Well, you know, we're hearing things that are so radically different than what we've been taught. And the Course is looking to turn everything upside down and inside out, because we have lost ourselves. Ourselves are so hidden in there that this is bringing us out of hiding.
Right.
Yes.
And when people come up and say, like Dale did just a while ago, we all relate to
Yes.
what he said, because we've all been through something, if not exactly the same, something similar. And the learning from this, just like you said, flips you. It turns you inside out, and you go like, well, of course. But the thing that makes it fabulous is that it's so real, and you really do present this in such a believable, interesting, totally understandable way to me. I'm really following you very well with this, and I'm so grateful that we have this course. I really am.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I love sharing the Course in Miracles, because it has been just transformational for me. I got pretty far along on that bridge on my journey before I found the Course, but the Course just totally propelled me and allowed me to go so much further and so much deeper. And so thank you for your sweet comment. Appreciate that.
We can tell.
Yeah.
This has just been an epiphany for me, because I had such a bad day yesterday, and I have to spend the whole day tomorrow with the person that I thought made me have a bad day. And I am owning the irritation that I caused when I said the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person. And I am going to thank her tomorrow for helping me realize something really important about how I abandoned myself by having those thoughts and beliefs about something really negative about myself. But it was me moving that negative energy out. But you just gave me all of the words, and I just cannot wait to see her tomorrow to thank her. So thank you.
Well, hold on a second. I want to ask you to consider something.
Okay.
Let's tweak something here.
Okay.
So, then was it the wrong things at the wrong time to the wrong person if it gave you this epiphany?
I guess not. I guess not. But I don't think I'm going to bring it up unless she brings it up, because you said something about, I do need to apologize. I think I need to apologize, but it was so much negative energy that came back at me a week later that it just knocked me off my feet, because I didn't think I had done anything wrong. I said what I was feeling, but now I realized I was moving that negative energy, but it was negative energy about thoughts and beliefs that I had programmed about something that
It's the past. So, so this person gave you an opportunity for something to come up for healing. So again, there's nothing wrong. You couldn't have said, you said the perfect thing at the perfect time to the perfect person that activated the perfect thing you needed to see for your healing.
Jeez.
But I want to own it, because I want to be humble
Yes.
about it, but I wasn't feeling humble when I came here.
No, but here's the important piece to keep in mind. If you, with your mind, try to analyze this, you're going to let your ego get involved.
Okay.
So do exactly what it says in lesson 106. Let me be still and listen for the truth. So before you say anything, check inside, because you will feel intuitively the right time to say something, the right words to say something. And if you feel intuitively what to say, no matter what she does, you won't feel guilt about what you said because you were listening to Source. So thank you so much for saying that. That is so beautiful. Anybody else? That was just so wonderful. Thank you so much for that. No, everybody feels complete?
No. I'm trying to formulate a question, but I can't quite get to it.
So sleep on it.
What about the new person?
Okay. There were so many questions that I had, but most of it's been answered just from your talking and Dale talking and so forth. But there's one, maybe you can repeat this, because when you were talking about irritation, you were talking about avoidance. So what I've noticed I default to when I'm irritated by someone, I avoid them.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
And that's a wonderful question. We all do that. And the reason we avoid is because that's a trick of our ego mind. I'm going to avoid you to give me a false sense of protection, but it's really the ego way of keeping you from facing. Remember I said we've got to cross those barriers. We got to face our fears and move through them. So when you avoid somebody, you're giving yourself the message that you're weak. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle facing the fear. You can't stand up. So if you are believing you have to hide, you don't know that you've got the mighty strength of God inside of you, so you're not honoring the truth of who you are, because whatever somebody thinks about you cannot alter who you are, but you can agree with them and receive their opinion of you, but you're never going to be free until you accept how God created you, until you accept your strength. You know, it's that old saying when we were younger, sticks and stones may hurt my bones, break my bones, but words can never hurt me. What anybody thinks about you is a reflection of what they believe about themselves, because giving and receiving are one. So when we can begin to do that work that we have emptied out a lot of the emotions and we're not reactive, when people tell you, I hate you, you just go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry you hate yourself that much. And you realize, can I give you a hug? Now all of a sudden it changes everything completely, because what comes out of a person is always a reflection of who they are, whether they know it or not. But you notice that happy people don't go around putting anybody down. And unhappy people don't go lifting other people up. Because they're expressing where they are.
Okay. Sounds good.
Does that help?
Yes, much. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. We're going to be here again next week. And next week, we're going to focus on how to experience oneness with God. And we're just going to look at how do we return to that truth of who we are? How do we come into that communion? Because that's what we're here to do. We crossed that bridge, separated ourselves from the truth of who we are by the beliefs that we picked up. Now we're looking at those irritations as invitations to look at our beliefs and decide that they're not true if they're not true, and return to the place where we will actually be experiencing that wholeness inside of us is the experience of oneness with God. Source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, it does not matter. But that infinite mind, that consciousness that is all that there is, our acceptance of it as the truth of who we are, is what allows us to feel totally and complete oneness. So thank you all so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Yes, totally.